Did you send him the thing? You did.
I sent him the thing. Welcome to the Flip Flop Power Hour, episode 49 with Roberto Kreigel, McKenna Kreigel, and Aiden Cebollero.
And Aiden.
He just loves watching himself on the videos. So
I went in and I'm watching the Monday Night Live. You see this, guys? And I've clicked that little like button.
Excellent.
You see how I did that? Now, if you're watching this with us, if you click that little like button, we'll like you a hell of a lot more.
That's what he says.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
how we get our self-esteem, right? We're like, we want to be told we're pretty. How do you tell us we're pretty? You like the video. You like the live.
So welcome. We are going to talk about today whatever you guys want to talk about. But before that, we want to thank everybody that came on the bus tour on Saturday. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was
like, we did not expect the turnout. It was like
crazy.
38 people there.
Yeah.
We were on a 15 passenger bus.
We filled a Greyhound bus.
Yeah.
We filled the Greyhound bus with people. We even had people fly in, right?
Yes.
And then we had some investors who jumped on at the last minute, who were staying in the Kai Hoare property, who invested with us that I'd never even met before, using self-directed IRAs. And we had
saw everything we
just had a great group,
from a bed and breakfast to fix and flip to a condo to office to condo conversions.
Yeah.
Like it was a packed day. And who goes
JC
to
Morales was a superstar again for us. We
Patio was my highlight for sure.
Yeah.
I think that the next time we do this, we want to have more stops with guys like that. So JC definitely is on the list to stop again, but we could have had maybe other people at we stopped at Mark's property on Calle Monserrate, but Mark wasn't able to be with us. But next time we will make sure that the people who are running the projects will be there to explain what goes on, because I think that's really powerful. It's fun that you get to go to Aiden and I's property and we'll tell you what we're doing, but it's even more fun when we get to spotlight somebody who we've done business with, or maybe just someone who's a friend that, you know, is investing alongside of us and to see what's going on.
And you learn so much.
Tell their story. Yeah.
You learn so much on these tours, not only from, from us, but the actual people that are coming here and are doing deals and knowing what they're doing. Like Otto is buying 5 houses a week for Section 8. You know, that's crazy. And you'll also learn that when you go to lunch, you would think ordering a sandwich is faster than ordering a full plate of food.
That's wrong.
And that's wrong.
That's only in Puerto Rico is that wrong, but definitely wrong.
The steak with rice and beans and a salad, and it'll come out at least an hour and a half before your sandwich.
It'll be really quick.
I really thought that the 8 of us that ordered sandwiches weren't going to get to eat.
Yeah, I thought
I was like, everyone's looking at us like, we got to go.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
Yep.
Why are we here?
Yeah,
waiting for a sandwich. So guys,
we'll fix that next time.
This works a lot better when you ask questions. Like McKenna. And Robert
this is interactive, guys. It's been getting better and better. So this is the live number, what,
49.
49.
I don't know what we're gonna do for episode 50. Maybe we'll show them your toe.
We'll have balloons. And,
yeah, we should have an episode
balloons
50
and
special.
fireworks.
Yeah.
What could we do for an episode 50 special? What would people want to see?
Put in the comments, guys. What could we do for a YouTube live here? The Flip Flop Power Hour, which this is going to be next week. So after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
The Christmas / number 50 special.
Yeah.
What's a good theme? How could we change it up a bit? Just for one time only, one show only, we could change it up a little bit.
What if we gave away a house?
No.
Okay. McKenna's giving away a house.
Well, what if we do a live event? We go to a coffee shop or something like that and stream it from there.
And then people can hop in, say hi.
Yeah.
Can we do that? You think it would be too loud? Like, I know if we were on YouTube live at lunch the other day during the bus tour.
Yeah, but we got to pick a better spot
there.
No, we'll pick a better spot, and we'll take the microphones.
Yeah, we would need like a private room, and then people can pop in, say hi, and pop out, but like one at a time or something.
Aaron says It was an amazing trip. The group really connected, and I can't wait for the next one. We can't wait neither, Aaron.
I thought that was probably the best, most fun takeaway. Well, there were a bunch of takeaways, but how good and cohesive a group we have, right? Like I didn't think there was anybody that came with us that didn't add to the group. Everybody was very personable. Everybody was willing to meet and talk with the network. And I mean, we were talking about doing deals, and I'm in a couple of different conversations now after this group with guys that want to do deals. And I think we're going to do some real estate deals out of it, which if you guys follow us, we want to do more real estate. That's what we like to do.
Laura says, drive the island. That would be cool. A little difficult technically, but
well, we could do like a 24-hour live stream, just nonstop, everywhere we go.
No. Nope. No. I'm putting that one down now. Nope. First, we don't have Starlink, and that just means I'm doing 24 hours worth of work.
Yeah, I mean,
while he looks at me and is like, "Is this microphone working? Why isn't it working?"
24 hours is too much. 24 hours is too much.
Right, maybe
I gotta sleep at least 6 hours. 24.
What's going on, Hector? Welcome.
Good to see everyone.
Yeah, so you guys, if you've got questions that pertain to real estate investing, pretty much we're global at this point. Like we feel like we've got a business model that works no matter where you are, and as long as you're allowed to buy real estate there.
You think we can talk about Alan's deal?
You want to talk about Alan's deal? Which one of Alan's deals?
The one he's forming a syndication for?
The 9plex. Yeah, so we happened to, that ended up being the last stop on the bus tour. It's a 9-unit project, 2 buildings side by side. So it's also in the zone for the Act 182, and it meets all of the criteria: 7 units or more, vacant building, needs significant renovation, all of that. It meets all of that.
Yep.
And so Alan from Apex, is Alan on the call with us today? Probably. If he's not, he will be. He usually is. He's wanting to be very active and wants to take that project on, and so we're willing to do that with him. If there's a group of you guys that are out there that would be interested in participating with us and with Alan in maybe what could be the first Act 182 project, certainly our first Act 182 project.
Yes.
We could form a syndication, or we could put together a debt fund. I mean, there's so many different ways that we could figure out how to fund it, and that would involve getting some people here and in Apex, and maybe even the flip-flop flipper community, to come alongside and put some money in and let Alan run with it. Let Alan get it fixed up, get it rented out, keep it for a long time, get some passive income. What's better than that?
So what do you think of that, guys? Let us know in the chat. You be interested in a type of deal like that? I think we're going to make a post on the Flip Flop Flipper and Apex groups, maybe collecting information to see if who's interested, and hopefully you'll probably get a call from Alan.
Yeah, well, I'll clarify. Alan will make that post.
Yes.
I think it's a security, guys, so we can't promote it because I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to.
Well, it's not security yet.
That's true.
It's just an idea. We're just thinking outside of the box, you guys, and trying to figure out if we wanted to do something, would we be able to? Who would want to participate?
And honestly, I think he should just form an LLC and bring people into a group, unless he's promising money.
There's a ton of ways that you can do it, and I really want to be a part of it, but I want to let Alan run with it, and so we'll let him decide which way to go. So I'm sure we're going to have a lot of conversations, because I've already had 3. I know you've had at least 1.
Yeah.
McKenna, maybe you've even had a conversation with him. I'm not sure.
Not about this deal, but me and Alan like to talk about our Orlando deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry has a question.
What's Terry's question?
Does Red Atlas have
all of the properties in Puerto Rico? I don't know if it has all of them, but
I will go out on a limb here, and I don't think I'm out on a limb at all. No, The answer is no. Of course they don't. Red Atlas is the first to make the attempt to be able to provide the data on the island of Puerto Rico, or the first to make a serious attempt at providing all of that data, but I don't think they're even close to having all of the properties yet.
I just think it depends how you ask this question, right? Because all the property are there. You can click on them. It's just maybe the cream and the stuff is not attached to it. What, you can play around and find that information on other websites, but they're trying to make it all a one-stop shop.
Man, they did, you guys, Red Atlas did inside of Apex last week a demo of their software and their site, and I was very excited afterwards after watching it. It does way more than I even knew. I know that Adon is on it all the time, pulling up comps and looking at stuff, but Red Atlas has like scraped the data from all of the different places where people post their properties for sale. So when people say there's no MLS and you don't know what's for sale, Red Atlas is trying to solve that problem too. So they're really doing a lot. They're doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and Terry, if you're not in the flip-flop group or an Apex, join the school group and send me a message, and I'll send you that demo so you can watch it and see what Red Atlas has, and I'll hook you up. So just send me a message on school.
Hector has a question. Can you touch briefly on how to go about purchasing abandoned schools on the island of Puerto Rico?
I wish I could talk intelligently about it. Obviously, I've made a few posts where I've been at abandoned schools, and because I'm looking for a big project to do in Act 182, and there are hundreds of these schools, they seem to kind of fit the bill, but 2 out of 3 weren't in the zone. They kind of cut them out, probably because they weren't housing. But to answer your question, I'm not really sure what the process is to be able to buy them. I think that it would involve going and meeting with the government, so the mayor's office probably in whatever town you're in, and then I'm assuming that mayor's office, like I looked at 2 in Camoy and 1 in Hatillo. So I think I'd meet with the mayor in Hatillo for the 1 in Hatillo and the mayor of Camoy for the 2 in Camoy, and hopefully they would be able to tell me how to buy it. But other than that, I don't have an insight into that. I've heard of them being sold, and who I think does know is Juan Perlam. So I think we can talk to Juan.
Yeah, Ari's planning on buying one too.
Ari is planning on buying one
in Cataño.
Ari's looking at one in Cataño. Has he gone any further? Have you talked to him about it?
I only know what he told me. He said he's looking at that to turn it into either a hotel, probably a hotel.
Did he say if he's got a chance to buy it? I mean,
no,
they're sitting there. They're abandoned. There need to be something, right? So they catch my eye every time I go past them. I would love to try and repurpose them. I think I've got a much higher and better use. I think any of them could be turned into housing and start to help to solve the housing problem. So once we heard about Act 182, they just sort of became low-hanging fruit if you can figure out how to buy them, I think. And I don't even know if that means that you do anything with the buildings there. Maybe you just knock them all down and then start over. That's kind of what I would think that I would do. There's one in Camoy. If anybody's got an in with the mayor of Camoy, if they would like to sell the school that's right down in the Pueblo, it's inside of the map for Act 182. I'd love to be a part of a group that purchases that. I have no idea what they would sell for, how much they are, but it's a big piece of land. It would be great to have, a few 100 or 200 apartments there would be amazing.
No matter what says, I'm brand new to all this, checking this out. Are you all in Puerto Rico?
No matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what. We're in Puerto Rico today. Actually, all 3 of us are in Puerto Rico. Normally,
That's
McKenna
right.
is joining us from Orlando, but not today.
He's in the jail cell in Puerto Rico, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Live streaming.
I did not get a fancy studio like these guys.
We just couldn't fit him in.
This is up in Florida, and all of us have experience both in Puerto Rico and up in the States. So we talk about real estate everywhere. But we talk about our businesses. Theirs was here in Puerto Rico. Mine's up here in Florida.
But you are invested down here, aren't you?
I do have some investments down here. Yeah.
And you invested in the States. So
yeah,
that
was my first deal ever.
We've both or all have done investing kind of in Florida and Puerto Rico. I've done some investing out in a few other places as well. We've got a hotel in Albania and a house in where did we buy a house?
Ukraine.
In Ukraine. Yeah, there you go.
Terry says, I went to my local court and got a taste of how they post for the pre-foreclosure notices. I found one that looks good, but the property information is very limited. I'm going to try going there tomorrow. Go for it, Terry. That's awesome.
Where is that, Terry? Where are you located?
And Laura's interested in the schools.
Laura's interested in the schools. Laura, what would you do with the schools? Laura, sorry.
I don't know. It says Sharp, so it's probably Laura.
What would you think would be the highest and best use of the schools? Because I before this Act 182, I mean, I know a lot of people had been thinking that they could turn them, like you were saying, Ari, maybe turn it into a hotel.
Yeah.
And I think that would be great, but I really think this housing thing would be even better. But it's a shame that if we'd have to knock down the buildings because they're really well built, it's just they don't really function for anything.
Yeah,
but they would be great.
They're ugly as hell.
They're already in a critical part of the area because that schools are usually put where foot traffic is needed and all that stuff. And
definitely well positioned.
You could put them there, and they all always have parking, so it cuts out a lot of those things you would have to do and break your head to get done.
Yeah.
Terry says, "Did you say land in front of the Pueblo Plaza in Camuy?"
Yes.
OMG. I don't know for what, but she says OMG.
It's a school in the Pueblo or right near the Pueblo in Camuy.
And she's asking, and she's going for the foreclosure sale in Caguas.
And Caguas, great. All right.
Yeah, I love Caguas. It's my favorite town in the mountains.
And Laura says,
and Caguas isn't exactly in the mountains, but it is the middle of the island.
It is the middle of the island.
Yes. Yeah. Laura says she'd be interested in turning them into apartments.
Apartments, yeah. Okay. Me too. That's what I see. My vision is with Act 182, taking the development that I see in Florida, these 4 to 7 story buildings, and
they're called 5/1s.
What is it?
5/1s. 5 stories over 1 story of commercial, or it'll be. I think it's like 5 stories of wood frame and 1 story of concrete. Probably you're not doing wood frame here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I think we're doing 5 stories, 6 stories of concrete block. Yep.
But that's what that style's called, where it's
5/1
trendy right now. 5/1.
Does that mean that's like you have 5 stories on the ground?
No, it means that you have the ground floor is commercial generally, or retail commercial. So you could have the gym there, the grocery store there. You could have offices there, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those floors would be housing.
Residential.
And the reason that they do that, the building code in the States, if you do 5 stories max, you can use the wood frame, and if you go higher than that, I think you have to start using steel frame, and it makes it a lot more expensive.
And I'm guessing that on the island of Puerto Rico is so close to the ocean, and with the storms and things, and because everything is built of concrete block here, you'd just build with concrete block.
Yeah, and the termites would just destroy you, I'm sure.
Well, they're evolving. They're trying to
even those 5/1s. You're saying there is wood in them, I'm sure, in Florida, but I think they use metal studs mostly, don't they? I hope so.
I think they're both, but I think it's a lot of wood.
Yeah, a lot of particle board, crappy wood.
Terry has a question. I have a question about pre-foreclosures. I see that there are 3 dates for the auctions. Do you wait for the 3rd to get cheaper? Risk the chance of losing it to a higher bidder?
No.
We usually don't wait till the 3rd auction. We have heard of deals going to the 3rd auction, but if it's a good deal on the 1st auction, we always go on the 1st, because usually someone's always going to pick it up. And depending where you're getting this information, Terry, you're going to the municipality, so you'll find out that they sold it. But for me, for example, I look at the information online and it will never reflect if it's sold or not in that month. So you have to physically go every time after an auction or during an auction to see if it's sold.
Yeah, and there's no reason to wait to try to get a better deal if it's already a great deal. If it's a great deal, just buy it.
Yeah.
If you're thinking that it's not a good, and there have been many cases where we think it's not even worth bidding at on the 1st auction, then of course we're going to wait till the 2nd auction or the 3rd auction, because it doesn't make sense. But if it makes sense at that 1st auction, I think waiting is probably a fool's errand. You're better to take the low hanging fruit, whenever you can.
Because somebody else will. I mean, that's the whole point of the public auctions is people will be there, people will bid, someone's going to buy it at a good deal.
Yep, 100%. Especially if it's an attractive price. Like if it's already at a ridiculous price, expect like 20 people in there.
Yeah.
And our philosophy for the auctions too, we're not going just for one property. We get the list for the auction and we look at every single property that's going to auction. We have a number for every single property where it's a great deal at that number, and we're going to bid on all of them. And there's no reason to just go for one property because you're probably not going to get one. But if you bid on every single property, you're going to buy something. There's no doubt about it.
That's right. Exactly right.
What do you guys call it? It's a numbers game.
It is a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's all about catchphrases today. It's a numbers game. It's not the money, it's a deal.
This ain't rocket surgery, guys.
Ain't rocket surgery. Look, my toes bleeding again.
We want to be in business with rainmakers.
There you go.
Yep.
Are you a rainmaker? If you're a rainmaker, we want to do a deal with you.
Yep. Deal makers.
Robert Krager, the deal maker.
The deal maker.
We've been talking marketing all day today, guys. So what do you think we do? Let us know. It sounds catchy.
Yeah, Aaron St. John asked this question the other day when he was here spending time with me before we went on the Saturday trip. And he said, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it ever since he said it. He's like, if you go on Jerry Norton's YouTube channel, you know that Jerry Norton's the wholesale guy. Go on Pace Morby's thing, you know he's the sub 2 guy. If you come to the Flip Flop Flipper channel, I think we're the value add real estate investors, but we're trying to figure out what that marketing is for us, right? Obviously those guys are way beyond where we are with their YouTube channel and marketing and the communities they're building, and we're just starting out in this. So we're trying to figure out what's the value proposition, or what's the
phrasing of it all?
I think that's right. What's the phrasing of it that's catchy, right? Like if you come to Robbie Krager, the Flip Flop Flipper channel, what are you going to get?
Yeah. So if you guys have an answer, let us know.
We would love smart people to give us great answers. So
yeah. Well, what's the easiest way to contact the owners before the auction? Would that be a cheaper price? I'll tell you about my experience in the States. I was a wholesaler for a long time, and that is a great way to find people. In the States, you can pretty easily reverse trace an address to a name and a phone number. I use True People Search to do that. It's free. And then I would just call them, cold call, and start a conversation. I think that it can work in Puerto Rico, especially if you have a name and they have since moved to the States. You can sometimes find phone numbers on True People Search, but it's much trickier to get phone numbers. But we saw on Red Atlas something pretty cool. Is that what you were about to talk about, Don?
No. What I was going to say is most of these foreclosures, usually the owners died or don't live here in the island anymore. It's been very rare that, we're driving to these foreclosures and you'll find that the owner is still living there.
Yeah, and guys, we're looking at the stuff that's going to come to auction next week or maybe 2 weeks from now. We're not looking at it a month or two out. If you go get the foreclosure list a month or 2 or 3 months out, then you have a lot better chance possibly of finding that owner still in the home, and then just knock on the door. Is that the best way to get a deal? I think obviously that's a really great way to find motivated sellers. And so if you do take the time to do that, no matter where you are, this works, by the way, works in Puerto Rico, works everywhere else in the States. I think you want to be 3 months or 6 months or so, 3 to 6 months out from the foreclosure sale. So as soon as you see the list pendants get filed, start trying to knock on the doors and start trying to talk to people. And that's where you can get some great deals.
I never seen a list more than like maybe a month ahead.
8 months?
Like a month. 1 month.
1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's November, I see December. I'm not able to see January yet.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason for that, right? Because we're looking at the actual judicial sales. So we don't see it until after the final judgment has been made.
Yeah.
in most places you can find the pre-foreclosure list that's like as soon as they file the list pendants, and so before final judgment and before final summary judgment. And yeah, you can.
You think
can
that list exists here?
Probably. Yeah. How does it exist? I don't know. Like,
Gotta ask Robert.
Where would you find it? Definitely in the courthouse. You could go and probably physically research it. Believe it or not, we used to have people that did that in Florida before data became an easily transferable commodity. And that's where we're at in Puerto Rico. So if somebody takes the time to go gather that data, you could probably just make money selling that off to groups like ours.
Awesome. Angel has a question here. Apartments or condos work well in that type of setup? I seen it done in Philadelphia where they taken schools and added apartments or condos and put some townhomes and parking in the yard.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. Apartment buildings or condominiums, or a combination too. You could do a little of each.
Terry says, does that mean that we have to buy the property at the auction, then find the cash buyer, or get the cash buyer who will wait till you get them the house? You have to go with all the money in hand. You cannot go and bid. Some of these auctions, before they even start, they make you show them all the cashier's checks before they don't care what amount it is, but they want to know that you have money to bid. You cannot show up without money. Like, for example, we have $125,000 in cashier's checks right now that we would take to the foreclosure sale and use to bid
in different amounts, right? So
yeah.
You'd have.
We have 250s.
We have a 50,000, a 50,000, a 10,000, a 10,000, and a 5,000.
Yeah.
And then we would have some cash in our pocket. And if we bid $55,000, we're going to want to give a $50,000 check and a $5,000 check. If we bid $56,000, then we'll give a $50,000 check, $5,000 check, and $1,000 in cash. You want to be as close to exactly the number. You can go over, but you can't be less. If you're less, they won't take your money,
and they're not going to give you the money back.
And if you go over, you don't want to have too much over, because it's going to take a long time to get the overage back.
Hector says, update, the mayor of Camoy just texted me. The school in Pablo Aviles is not for sale. He's looking to develop into a hotel, condo, etc. Please contact me later to discuss.
All right.
Get him. You got the the mayor as a partner.
Who just said that?
Hector.
I've got his number.
Yeah. Great. Let's talk, Hector.
Aaron says, could you do senior living in a school? I'm sure there is a need. Not sure if it applies to the Act 182. No, but there is part of Act 60. I'm pretty sure it's part of Act 60. There are incentives for elderly homes and stuff like that, like assisted living is what you call it.
Yeah. And
there are incentives for that. Plus, if you compare it with opportunity zones and things like that, then there's a lot of incentives for assisted living. There right now, I think we're living in a time where it's a really old generation here. Like, there's not enough young people on the island right now.
Yeah. If you're here and you're a young person on the island, you have a responsibility to your island to start making babies.
I'm doing good. I got one.
You need to speed up this process. You should have 3 by now.
I need to make more money.
No, it's true though. We have a population drain, right? And if the local population here doesn't start having more kids, the island's just going to continue.
We're going to be like Japan.
Population.
We're going to be like that island, Japan.
It's
where
actually
they push all the old
worse
people.
than Japan. Right now, our birth rate, I say our, and people will get mad at me because I'm not Puerto Rican, but the birth rate of Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico is lower than that of what's going on in Japan. And Japan is, everybody's heard about what's going on there. It's a real problem. You got to make babies.
So Laura says, but you can only travel with 10K cashier's checks.
What?
I don't know what she means by that.
What
we get checks. So usually when we go to the foreclosure sales, we already know how much we're going to bid to. So what we try to do is get a check for the exact starting bid. So that way we have that out the way. And then we bring smaller checks to come up to what number we think we're going to bid to. So if it's 50,000 to start, and I want to go to 150, then I know I have to get a $50,000 check to clear that one, and then it's just from there
and it's possible, Laura, are you talking about like traveling with $10,000 cash going from country to country or something like that? Like that's a thing. But if you're coming from Miami to Puerto Rico, you could bring $1 million in cashier's checks. Not a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Or you could do a wire to an account here and then just go to the bank and get the cashier's checks.
I traveled from Milwaukee to Orlando, Florida with $230,000 cash in my trench coat.
Get him, feds, get him. Look, he's saying it.
True story.
He fessed up.
Well,
it was scary, not because I was worried about them taking the money, but because it was a lot of freaking money. I mean, it was like, oof.
You're like the guy with the trench coat and all the watches.
I just put it all right on the conveyor belt, and I said, "Hey guys, I have some cash." It went right through. They didn't say a damn word.
Wow. I don't think they're supposed to ask you how much.
Yeah,
I don't know. She says, "Our current assisted living facilities cash, only NPR or insurance?" I think no. When we did it for my grandpa, it's mostly cash, as far as I know.
Yeah. So, do you guys have an insurance product that covers assisted living?
I don't know.
A lot of times, even in the States, what'll happen is the assisted living facilities will make a deal with you as you become elderly, where you can move into their place, and it steps you up from self-living to partial assistance to full assisted living, and you like pledge a portion of your net worth and your assets.
Never heard of that here. I think that high rise in Carolina was supposed to be something like that.
Yeah.
But I never heard of something like what you're saying. And when we looked for my grandfather, it's kind of like, here's a room. A nurse will be by. Like, oh, cool. He'll eat. Maybe.
We'll feed him twice a week.
Yeah. That's a good question, Laura. We have no idea. But we should look into it.
I've never invested
in
assisted living before. I do think it's a really good, profitable way to invest.
Arnaldo's trying to invest in assisted living.
Arnie?
Yeah, he's putting his property up to build there.
Okay.
So I don't know how that's going, but that's what I heard last.
Yeah. Well, let's ask him.
But I do know there is a bunch of incentives for them.
Yeah.
I do know that. And then you can even get your projects fast-tracked, especially if it's like for assisted living. What was the other thing? There's something else. I'm trying to remember. I think I'm confusing it with opportunity zones, where you could get certain projects fast-tracked because it's like things that the government
strategic projects.
Yeah, like assisted living, and it was something else like the government wants you to do this. We'll fast-track that.
And they'll hopefully make your permitting go easier.
Yeah, if it was going to take you 2 years, they'll take you.
We got a fast-track designation for our hospitality build in Arecibo, and we're 2 years in and we don't have our permits, so it doesn't really mean anything. We're under the right
it just sounds
zonification
cool.
And everything. We're a strategic property. They need it because they started doing that surfing contest there and stuff like that, and nobody else has the kind of rooms that we could create. So we went through the process. It has been absolutely nothing.
But is that because of the architects?
I'm not sure.
Has anybody gone down there to ask them?
We work on it every single week. We were supposed to have permits in hand in October, and
who's telling you why?
There's no why. We're now supposed to have it in November. What day is today? And then we'll be supposed to have it in December.
Man, I would be sitting in that office every day.
Yeah.
You got to send somebody to do it.
Laura says
we employed a guy who used to be the head of all the whatever. I don't know. You always got a guy who knows a guy, so we got a guy.
Maybe you got the wrong guy.
We must have the wrong guy. No, he's
got to get better guys.
He's good.
That's just how long it takes, I think. Permits are a nightmare.
It does take a while.
Laura says, sure, in Newport, CA, the high quality assisted living costs $35,000 a month to reside in the community. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's PR.
And that's a lot of money no matter what, but
I don't know how.
I don't know how insurance.
I don't know how anybody affords that. The highest assisted living I heard of here when we were looking was like $2 or $3 grand a month.
Oh, that's cheap. Yeah,
Cheap in Florida.
When McKenna's grandmother went into the assisted living in Jacksonville, it was they had the thing where they lived in the house while they were still young enough that they could take care of themselves, and then they went to several levels. But it was hundreds of thousands of dollars to start, and then $7,000-8,000 a month after that for the rest of their lives. It's a lot.
Alan says move to France. They'll take care of you there.
Move to France and they'll just take care of you, Alan.
Don't you got to be a Somalian?
I hear they love immigrants over there. They're really glad that people are moving there.
Yeah.
All right. Who's got more questions?
Let's take the politics back out.
Alan says, yep, they love immigrants. I love it. Plus good food. Man,
it is. Oh my God, is it good food though?
The best onion soup I ever had.
Well, speaking of France,
it was the best everything that I ever had. Food, they just really know how to eat.
Yeah, this is something that we've been talking about for a while, but we really want to, in the next year, 2 years, who knows the timeline, go international, look at real estate in France, look at real estate in Portugal, Japan, Thailand.
McKenna, that
sounds fun to go. We want to go look at real estate in.
No, you're thinking about this wrong. We want to go to war-torn countries and buy real estate. That's how we travel.
You gotta go post-war, I think.
Chaos Real Estate Investing YouTube channel will be a thing very soon. We'll be there with UN blue helmets, just being like, look, you see this distressed building? I'm gonna buy it for $2.
The bomb just hit it last week.
Yeah, I'm making an offer right now.
Yeah, your risk profile is that the Russians might take it from you.
We'll make a deal. I'll learn Russian by then.
Oh man, I don't know.
All right, so we got 20 people watching and only 5 likes, guys. If you don't mind hitting that like button for us, it really helps us out. We'd appreciate it.
Alan says the Apex Cruise Tour and then the Apex Jet Tour. I love it. Speaking of the Apex Cruise, though, we are going to be going on the San Juan Social Cruise. Is that in February, Dad?
That's in March, and we need to post some stuff because you guys are all invited. I can get you a special QR code, and it is a spectacular time to network with people. Last year, Linda and I went, and we only did it like half right. The first half of the time we kind of spent on our own and didn't really participate with the group. There were 200 or so really, really powerful real estate investors, entrepreneurs of all sorts, and just overall great people. And then this year they already have like 500 people going. And I think it's going to be even more. So we would love to have a group inside of the group. And so we're going to get you guys information and invite you guys to come on the cruise with us. So if you want to go on a cruise in March, it's the San Juan Social Club cruise, and ask us for information.
Yeah, we've got a code you can use, and it's going to be fun.
Guys, we'll send you the link
for 7 days.
Yeah,
that's the place to do it.
We'll send you the link, and they'll have a drop-down menu. You'll be able to choose. Did he put Apex in there, or is it your name? It'll probably say his name. Just choose his name, and
yeah, we'll figure it out, and we'll put out some messaging about it. If you like being on a bus with us for 10 hours, you're gonna love being on a boat with us for 7 days.
Look, and the great part is, we don't have to wait for like an hour and a half for food.
You can eat all you want whenever you want. Yeah, and it's a Virgin cruise, so I mean, it is a really comfortable ship. It's
no kids.
It's a Caribbean. Yeah, there's not a bunch of kids running around. It's it was great. And the days at sea, or the day or two at sea, they had like great speakers who were presenting business ideas and trying to help each other to be able to be more productive. I mean, it was really awesome.
We could do Monday. We're gonna have to do Monday night.
Oh, we could do Monday Night Live from the cruise ship.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, nice,
sweet. That's gonna be fun. What can I ask the homeowner if I find them at the house tomorrow? I would ask them how much they. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at the pre-foreclosure list, but how much they owe. ask them if you can take over the loans and bring them current, and then how do you usually do it in Florida?
No, so if you're doing a pre-foreclosure, so you're definitely 100% you're negotiating with the homeowner. So if they show up, if you show up to the house and they're there, then you want to treat them like you would any other seller, and you want to find out what their motivation is. How much are they asking for the project? How much are they asking for the house? How motivated are they? Right? Like, so a lot of times if you show up 6 months out, people will still have their head in the sand and they believe that they're going to be able to catch up. If you show up 3 weeks out and they're still there, they're losing the house. Like, they're highly motivated at that time.
Yeah.
However, people still are funny. So you want to talk to the people that want to talk to you, and you really can't force the issue. If they tell you, you know, fuck you, real estate investor, I don't want to sell to you, I'm going to fix my problems.
Beep.
And that's just the way that it is. Then move on to the next one, right? I mean, what did Jerry Norton say the other night in the masterclass? Is that stop wasting time trying to force people to sell you things that they don't want to sell you.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Find out what the motivation is and see if there's a deal there. Get to a yes or a no as fast as you possibly can and move on. Right?
There's another catchphrase. I only buy things people want to sell. That's what you.
I know. I was just answering some gringo hate earlier before we went on. A young girl was like, I can't believe these real estate investors are stealing our houses and then selling them for more money. And I just replied back, did someone steal a house from you? I mean, because you can call the police. We can in Florida, at least. We can call the police and say, hey, they're squatting in our house. Throw them out.
Yep. Yeah. Good luck with that here. Could you look into that and let us know what the cost will be through Apex? I don't think the cost changes much on the cruise. What are
we talking about?
He's asking how much it would be if Apex was promoting the cruise.
Yeah, whatever we'll put the stuff out there and it will be. I mean, I don't think it's like the cheapest way to cruise, but it's not just that you're going on the cruise. It's the people that you're going on the cruise with. Well, one, Adon and McKenna and maybe myself, but really, the other people that are going to be there are really, really worth being there. I've done at least $250,000 worth of business from a guy that I met on the cruise. And when we met on the cruise, it was like, hey, how you doing? I'm John. I'm Rob. Nice to meet you. And then like 3 months later, Davin Michaels told John, hey, call Robert about real estate in Puerto Rico. And John called me up and said, Robbie, I heard from Davin, you're the real estate guy. And we now own we now own some real estate together. So it really does happen that you meet people that you're going to do deals with, and it's a great place for us to go as a group and get to know each other better. So, and I don't think it's super expensive. You know, for the week you went on the cruise with 2 people, I think it cost us like $4,000 or something like that. So that's not bad. $2,000 a person, all the food you want and all that, you know, it's nice. Yeah. It's really a bargain when I look back on it and think about the fact that I did $250,000 worth of business with somebody else. I mean, I'll make that trade every time, right?
Hopefully we make 10 million.
I can't remember any other vacation I've ever gone on where that happened, but maybe it has.
Yeah. Adriano says, hey guys, can you send me an email to answer the early question because I created an outline based on this conversation.
The best way to get in contact with us, and Adon, maybe you can put a link, join our free school community, the Flip Flop Flipper. Send me, Adon or Robert, a DM.
Send McKenna or Adon. If you want an email, send Adon or McKenna the ask. If you want to have a phone call, you can set up a phone call with me when you join the free community.
Yep. That's the best way to get in contact with us, and we can send documents and stuff that way. Don's going to post a link there, so it's free. Join and send me a message. So what is the document that you're making here? It's for the early questions. I'm not sure what that is. Do you guys know what that is?
I have no clue.
Look back at his earlier questions.
The way this is his first question, the way you can read it to see that what everybody thinks.
Well, I'll be on the lookout for it. Angel's asking, is there an Apex sale for Black Friday? I think what we're going to do is create
yes, but we're not telling you now.
And we're kind of doing this live, so maybe you can tell us what you would find valuable. But we were kicking around maybe doing like a a 3-call special with Robert as a bonus if you join on Black Friday, or I don't know. Well, whatever you guys think could be good to do as a Black Friday bonus. Robert and Don, did you have any ideas on that?
I'm worried that we're not going to get any advertisements out for Black Friday because today's the Monday before, but
we're advertising right now.
Let's ask what would be a great Black Friday
like monthly subscription. No, we're not going to adjust the price. What we're going to do is add on to. So for example, if you would like to talk to Robert, usually what we do is a free strategy call with Robert, but now we can do 3 strategy calls with Robert. And the first one is trying to figure out what a deal is. Second one, you bring a deal. Third one should be, you should have closed that deal and now you're finishing of selling it.
Yeah.
Something like that, just to give an example. Another bonus could be, you tell us what would be good bonuses. You want to talk to Robert? You sign up today. I'll send you his number.
I like how everything's around Robert. I'd like to do bonuses where you do all the strategy calls with McKenna and Adon.
Yeah, you're the famous real estate investor, though.
You're the guy. You're the guy.
Oh, well.
You're the guy. I wish us, backup singers.
We do need to come up with some kind of special promotion for Christmas, for Black Friday.
So guys, the free link is there. Click there if you're not part of the Flip Flop Flipper community. Join it and schedule your free strategy call. Keep asking questions. If not, we're just going to talk about how Robert's the main singer and we're just backup girls. So, and we all want to be we don't want to be Ringo anymore.
We're tired of being Ringo.
We're tired of being Ringo.
I want to be John.
I want to be John.
I think even Paul wanted to be John, didn't he?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I think the cruise will be very valuable.
I think the cruise, I mean, going back to the cruise, having gone last year on the first one and knowing that this year it's going to be twice as big at least, and knowing that also we could have a group inside of the group, I think the cruise could be something that will be life-changing for people, and something that where you're going to make great friends, you're going to form partnerships, you're going to do deals.
Mm-hmm.
I went on the cruise last year with no intention of investing with anybody or doing anything. I just wanted to meet some people. We wanted it for community more than anything else, and we ended up doing business out of it. So that's a pretty damn good vacation when you can think that I paid for the vacation 400 times over.
There you go. If you have a property in the States and want to invest in PR, can you still qualify for Act 60 investor?
Yeah. So who's asking?
Angel Cardona.
Yeah. So most of Act 60, you don't even have to move to Puerto Rico to be a part of, right? Like, so hospitality, Act 182, you could invest in. You could, I believe, in theory, come and have an export service business without living full-time on the island. It's the personal capital gains portion of Act 60 where you have to have most closely tied. And guys, I'm not part of any of that. I have done tourism stuff, but that's really the extent of my Act 60 stuff. But yes, I own real estate in other portions of the U.S., and I qualify for Act 60. And I could own things in the U.S. and have qualified for export services or the personal capital gains thing, which used to be Act 22. We chose not to, because when you are most closely tied to the island of Puerto Rico, your inheritance laws change to the laws of Puerto Rico. And because we have kids that are not in Puerto Rico and property that's not in Puerto Rico, and we didn't have it all set up ahead of time, that we just didn't think it made financial sense for us. But as long as you're willing to adhere to all of the rules and the laws, you can do it.
Yeah, here Alan says, for expert services and for individual investors only, there are criteria to qualify related to being a bona fide residence.
Yes,
I think we have our first hater here. Says,
yeah, hi Lisa.
Hi,
Hey,
Lisa.
Let's see Lisa. Bring her up.
That's so funny. No more gringos.
Lisa.
Well, just so you know, Lisa, Act 60 is for locals too, so
As
don't
well.
worry.
We got you covered.
Also can invest in real estate and make a lot of money doing it, and you can help the island, bring jobs, improve the economy, improve the town.
With Act
and improve
182,
everyone's life.
you can invest in a way that you're going to solve the housing crisis.
100%.
So that's something. It's a shame the way that government programs work and they don't get advertised to the public properly. So the lies that the left tells, or the lies that have been told about that Act 60 is not for the locals, it's really bullshit. And it's a shame because it's really, Adon, you're Puerto Rican, right?
As far as I know.
What if you wanted to do a young entrepreneur? Could you do that?
Yeah.
What if you wanted to do an export service? Could you do that?
I'm doing it.
You could do export service and you're local Puerto Rican?
As far as I know.
You must be breaking the law.
For sure.
You're a tax evader.
Yeah. According to my accounting.
Now, could you do the personal network, the personal capital gains thing?
No.
I think you could have when you first moved.
I first moved, but and
you were told that you couldn't.
That goes to show you that not everybody is informed the right way. When I went to my accountant the first time, she's like, "No, you can't." I'm like, "I haven't lived here in over 10 years."
Yeah.
I know you can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right." Well,
and that's your accountant.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the person
it
supposed
just goes
to know.
to show the accountants don't know, the lawyers don't know. Certainly the people on the internet who are doing all the hating.
Yeah.
They really don't know shit. They're just bigots and idiots.
Well, hopefully they stop being keyboard warriors and actually go do something. We're rooting for you. You can have rentals in the US, but not a place to live in, especially if it's bigger than the place you have in PR.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that goes to most closely tied. I would say the other thing too is if you are moving, say, from New York or California, and you're going to come to the island of Puerto Rico and you want to be most closely tied, you really need to sell your family house or your personal residence in order to make that move, because this most closely tied is several different phases. I mean, you need to have your gym membership here. You should go to church here.
Yeah.
Your kids should be in school here. Yep. You can't move here and leave your wife in California and think that you're going to pass any kind of audit or anything like that,
or do the
work.
The 180 days or 83 days plus one and take a little Starbucks receipt and be like, I was there.
Or have this stream that you could fly in on a Monday and jump on a boat on Tuesday and then fly out of the Dominican Republic. Man, they're going to catch you. Just don't do that stuff.
Angel says, so for individual investor at 60, would I save on capital gains if I become an investor in PR?
Yes. If you make your money for individual investor, which is if you make your money as capital gains, so you're a day trader, or you buy and sell Bitcoin or any of that other stuff on the blockchain. If you make your money in that way, it's really, really lucrative. I mean, it's a zero capital gain. So if you make your money through capital gains, then Puerto Rico is the place to be. I wish I made my money that way. If I buy a stock that's going up, it's certainly going to go down the next day. And so I make my money. I'm a one-hit wonder. I'm only
McKenna.
Able to make
I
money
think they sent
estate.
you something.
Yeah, Adriano. I don't see the email anywhere. Can you send me a message on school? I'm not sure which email you sent it to. I just checked my mail app.
And Lisa says, sorry, I did not want to offend nobody. That was a comment on one of the hosts. One of the hosts of, I think she's talking about something else she saw. We're not offended, Lisa. Trust us. We got thick skin. If you make offers every day and get rejected and get told no, someone telling you, hey, go home. It's just kind of, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, Lisa, we appreciate that you're here. Really. I mean,
yes.
I even like it when I do get the hate, as long as when I get the hate and I try to have a conversation. If they'll have a conversation with me, I don't mind it. It's just the ones that really kind of curse you up and down and tell me that I'm ruining the island that I
think it's great.
don't like that much.
But
I like
he's
to see
talking.
other people's point of view.
You know he's on fire when you're talking for 5 minutes and you're like, I'm pretty sure this guy's completely ignoring me. I'm like, you talking to a hater there? He's like, yeah, I'm just letting them know they can do Act 60 as well. I'm like, oh, okay.
I do try and let people know. It's like, hey, I know you think that you can't, but you can.
You can. Alan says you need to be an individual investor decree to benefit from the tax-free capital gains, and that's only applied to capital gains during your residency in PR and only for securities, not for real estate. So there you go.
Yeah.
Alan,
are you part of that?
Yeah, I think he is.
I think
he is.
Adriano, let's have for the next Zoom meeting.
Let's have what?
Let's have the thing he said sent to McKenna.
Let's have the next meeting, a live Zoom meeting where we can see each other and speak and share thoughts. So we actually
maybe we could do that for the 50th YouTube live. Can we do that? Can we figure out how to? The reason we don't on these Monday night lives is because we put them out on YouTube live. We do interactive live Zooms weekly through Apex, and maybe for the 50th we could try to do it, but we need it to be YouTube live still.
Well, we can send people a link and they can join us like McKenna.
Yeah, maybe you could have the link to join the Zoom and you can stream the Zoom.
Yeah, you know, guys, because it is nice. Sometimes we get questions and we try to answer the question, but there's interpretation. So when you can have a question and we have a question back, if you have a conversation, that's a very nice way to do it for us as a presenter, for sure.
But Adriano, if you come into Apex, we do live Zoom meetings every Thursday for about two hours. So people are able to go back and forth, bounce questions off each other. They're really fun calls. So check out that in Apex if you're not already in there.
Yeah. Angel says, so when you sell at home, you don't get a deduction on your capital gains?
No, you do not. We pay capital gains. And Alan, maybe this is a question for you. I don't know. Jerry Norton has a way that he can sell a home where he sells it as an LLC and he doesn't pay capital gains. When I, Robbie Krager, buy a house and fix it up and sell it, I pay tax just like everybody else on the island. So
100%.
It's too bad. And if I'm doing it wrong, tell me, because I'd love to pay less tax.
Alan, Angel says thank you. Lisa says, hey, we want gringos here, okay? God bless your endeavors always. Lisa, we love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Adriano says, gringos are great people. One of my best friends is a gringo.
Yeah. One of the best mentors I got is a gringo.
That's like me saying I know 4 black people.
Oh my goodness.
You know 4? Wow.
Dude,
Kenna, you're the man.
I actually know quite a lot.
You listen to the raps?
I'm just poking fun, Adriano. I'm just poking fun.
That's funny.
Do you recommend doing it like Jerry Norton?
Doing what? This is what I'm talking about. Interactive. Doing what?
Yeah.
Like Jerry Norton.
Yeah. Well, Jerry Norton has a very
we're
crazy
talking
way
about Act 60.
how he does it. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I would say this: if you're trying to figure out how to use Act 60, especially export services, I think Jerry Norton's got a really, really fun way that he has set his Act 60.
It's like it starts here.
He's way better at it than anybody I've ever talked to before. So
yeah,
he's got content out. Actually, we have content out with Jerry where he explains it. It's a long form content about a year and a half ago that we did with him. And he talks about how he uses export services to run his wholesaling business in the States. And it was brilliant. Like it made me kind of rethink, should I have done that? But I'm already 7 years in, and I think I missed that boat.
Chris says, hello guys, can you let Robert know that I have a contact that can reach out to the mayor's office in Camuy, and Atillo government is closed during Turkey Week?
Hey,
yeah,
Chris,
that's
the
awesome.
best way to reach us, because we aren't able to message you here on YouTube, but join this free school, the Flip Flop Flipper School.
I know a couple Chris's.
You know Chris?
I know.
Is that what you said?
Chris 1, Chris 2. He's asking me if I know this Chris. I'm like, it's kind of tough.
Send us a message on school. It's free, Chris, and we can connect that way and start the communication. We're not.
But I definitely would like to. I'd like to have that conversation, you guys. So
yeah.
I think that have there been a couple of people that said they can help
Yeah,
with that.
everyone
are you
knows
Chris
the mayor.
Castro?
Oh, Chris was with us on Saturday night. Okay, perfect. We'll
Chris
reach out.
I met during Act 16. See, he was there Saturday night. You know where he was? On the Apex bus tour.
Nice.
And he went for free. You know why? Because he was part of the Apex community.
Wow.
Look at that. You guys missed out. Just letting you know.
I did think it went really well.
It was a really
not to pat ourselves on the back too much.
Damn
We
sandwiches
can
took too
certainly
long, but
improve
everything was
lunch.
fine.
And I would have liked to have had a camera guy. Next time we'll have a camera guy and we'll do interviews with people and stuff.
You weren't happy with my camera work?
I don't know. I think we should have had somebody who was just dedicated to it.
100%.
So next time we'll do that.
Alan says there is a legal structure similar to
Oh yeah, Alan's really smart with his structure.
1031 exchange, but a lot more flexible than can help with different large capital gains on real estate properties and reinvesting in Puerto Rico as real estate or others. We need to bring Alan on. Is what we need to do.
Yeah,
and let him answer these questions.
Alan knows Act 60 pretty well. You guys.
Yeah,
Alan is a researcher.
Alan is with it with tax structures and setting up trusts and doing Act 60, both Puerto Rican and stateside. He's on top of it.
Alan likes to pay taxes less than me, even, which is very admirable.
Isn't France a really high tax bracket?
I think France is oppressive.
Oh,
yeah,
it's probably why he's never going back.
He came from one oppressive place to the other oppressive place,
to California, and
now he's here.
Now he's finally found freedom.
Yep,
in Puerto Rico.
You can't do 1031 from the U.S. to PR.
Correct. No, you cannot. Well, we've been here an hour. We're gonna leave it for another 10 minutes. Ask your questions quick because we're about to wrap it up. And then next Monday we need to figure out if we're gonna do this somewhere live or not.
What?
Yeah, we'll make announcements about what we're doing.
We'll figure out. Yeah, so we could
we
could make a grand 50th
at the bookmark
or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Or is there like a sports bar somewhere where
it should be like a rooftop?
People can come and they can have a beer and we can be sitting off doing the Monday Night Live.
They could be shouting at us, "Go home, go home."
My God, we could get the protesters out.
Oh, that'd be great.
How about it?
Yeah.
Come on. I could shout from the rooftop like I did on the Apex bus tour to buy more real estate, and then the people could shout back, "Go home, gringo."
Yeah.
Love it.
But you can
Lisa will be there yelling at you.
No, Lisa's on our team.
Lisa, I think we misunderstood Lisa's comment.
We definitely misunderstood Lisa's comment.
Hey guys, if you want more info,
I'm glad we weren't super mean to Lisa.
No. Are you still buying in opportunity zones or through opportunity zones?
What's that?
Are you still buying through opportunity zones?
Right now I'm not. I think that that's still something that I have in the back of my mind. So we set up an opportunity zone fund and we did several things with it, and then we exited early. So I'm not going to get to take advantage of the zero capital gains thing.
Can Rincon qualify for an opportunity zone?
Almost everything that we've got on the island would qualify for an opportunity zone, but you need to set it up properly and do it ahead of time. We actually have people who invested in their opportunity zones that then came into the Rincon project. So yes,
nice,
does qualify. For me, I didn't invest that way, but in the future, the answer is yeah. I think because 98% of the island is an opportunity zone and you can stack things. So I'd like to do a 182 project or two, like for instance, the Camoy school that we're talking about during this live. If that somehow became a reality, setting it up as an opportunity zone fund in order to fund that would probably be a pretty damn smart idea.
Alan says opportunity zones sunset soon, right? End of 2025?
2026. Yeah. So to fully take advantage of everything that you get inside of the opportunity zone, I think you need to be invested before sometime in 2026. And you already don't get the initial 10%
step up in basis
and stuff like that. So I've heard and I think it's possible with the new administration coming in. opportunity zones may get an extension. Trump was the one who put the opportunity zones into existence, and now he's coming back in.
It was Trump or Obama?
Trump. It started with Obama, and Trump actually got it done, which is really cool because that's one of like the only bipartisan things that's happened in the last 15 or 16 years. But it went into effect under Trump, and now he's coming back into office, and hopefully he'll extend it because it is a pretty good wealth builder. It is the best wealth builder I've ever seen, actually. So
I agree. No matter what, time will take care of you, says. FYI, I tried to schedule a 30-minute call, but the calendar was wide out. It wouldn't show December. I'd be interested in learning how to find investors. Do the 50th podcast in a park in Condado.
Well, I'll talk about calendar settings real quick. We have it set. It's a 7-day rolling schedule, so you can only book a week in advance. And if it was whited out, that just means we're completely booked. There's a decent amount of time slots, but they do fill up pretty quick.
Yep.
But we can go in there and open up a slot for you for December, or figure out how to change the settings for a second to let you book a meeting.
And you can also, if you're on the school platform, you can direct message us. So like if you're having trouble with it, direct message McKenna or Adon, or even me in this case. Like if you're trying to set my calendar, although I'm then going to direct message McKenna and say, hey, McKenna, open up a spot.
Just talk to McKenna. Just skip the headache and go straight to McKenna.
Yeah, but you need to send me a message on school because I'm going to forget. School keeps it all nice and organized for me. So send me a message there.
Well, guys, we're getting down to the last couple of minutes. Final questions. Give us, if you guys have suggestions for where we will hold the 50th episode, put them in the chat. Let us know. We'll consider everything. You know, if someone has a sick penthouse that they'll invite us to, and we'll invite a bunch of people, let's do that too.
Have a party.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Hey guys,
I'm envisioning, because you said a rooftop place.
If
If there's like a rooftop restaurant where we could be off in a corner.
La Placita.
La Placita.
La Placita. Scryer. I don't like Scryer.
You don't like Scryers?
You don't got a view.
Too tight.
You don't got a view.
Yeah.
You need a view.
Well, so anyway, let's think about that. We'd have to be able to be sequestered a little bit so it's not too noisy.
You do it at the apartment.
Yeah, we need a glass box.
My apartment.
At your apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, have a good night. Thanks so much for coming. Hit the like button, subscribe.
Terry said at Jerry's house.
Yeah, we could do Jerry's house.
Yeah. All jumping in the pool.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Rincón by el Faro. Good suggestions. I like that. All right, guys.
What's that sports complex over
Echo Sports Park?
Echo, we could do something there maybe.
Yeah, but you were talking about loud.
Yeah, that's loud, but we'd have to be somewhere a little sequestered. But then, you know,
we'll have to get like headphones with the mic, like a UFC announcer, so we can talk.
You guys, thank you, and we'll see you next week for another edition, our 50th edition of the Monday Night Live, the Monday Night.
The Flip Flop Power Hour.
Flip Flop Flipper.
Maybe by episode 50, he will know the name. It's all a surprise.
It's a moving target.
It is a hard moving target.
Moving target.
This guy, what's the biggest deer you can catch? You can shoot an 8-pointer.
Why? You can't shoot a 12-pointer?
I don't know. What's the biggest one you can get?
I don't know.
So this guy's a moose. You just it's just a moving moose. You'll never get him.
He's a moose.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Downtown Coupe. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. We could do it there. I don't know if they're opens on Mondays.
What's that?
Downtown Coupe.